Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Walrus and Comic Podcast, the only sports report that gives you WWE and then football on top of that. Brett, it's time. It's been a week. We put up Survivor Series 2020 recap. I've seen we've had some viewers on that. I don't know if we've gotten any responses yet to any questions that we've posed. But what I have noticed, Brett, is people like wrestling.
Some for some reason, I don't know.
I just think it's the hot ticket item, baby.
That's wild.
It's like Adam Cole, baby. Have you been seeing the little storyline with Adam Cole?
No.
No, you haven't?
Dude, I don't watch WWE.
Oh my gosh, you need to, Brett. It's your boy, Pat McAfee.
Tell you to watch
your boy,
WWE.
Pat McAfee. He's got his own group now.
I don't watch Grass Grow. I don't watch Paint Dry. I don't watch WWE.
You need to watch
I don't
NXT.
like watch horse shit.
You need to watch NXT. It's Pat McAfee and his group of cronies in the Undisputed Era. Pat McAfee and them kicked them out of the NXT. And then they came back and they're going to have a feud. But it's like Pat McAfee, Oni and Lorcan, like these, like the United Kingdom guys who, like, the fans kind of got after for a while or got behind for a while, but they were obviously never going to be pushed like main event tag team material. And Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight. And Pat McAfee, that's their group, and then the Undisputed Era. So there's a pretty cool angle going on right now, and I think you would like it. Hey man, we could spend all day talking about WWE, but we're not because I haven't watched any since Survivor Series, so it's probably not the route we want to do for this podcast today. Because I know you haven't watched it.
No.
And, folks, if you're out there listening and you watch our podcast, would you please, in the comments of this podcast, when it goes up later tonight, because I'm not going to forget to put it up tonight, because I know I need to get it put up tonight, put in the comments and let Brett know that he should start back watching WWE. Torture Brett. Say, you will support our podcast more. You'll share it more once Brett starts watching WWE again. Please do that. Well, Brett, what do you want to talk about? Because we're not talking about WWE today.
Let's go! Where's college game day going Saturday?
Man, what a big announcement. And at first when I told you that, because I saw it before you,
Yep.
I thought you were doubting me. Because, you sent this message saying, well, their game's not televised.
You don't know how to read my text messages, I've noticed. You have no clue how to read I talk.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I was like, why are you doubting me?
You're the only person that doesn't know how to read my text that I talk to.
Well, how is that text supposed to be read?
Why isn't it on TV? I knew that. I seen the announcement that they were going there. I was asking you why a game that would have college game day isn't on TV.
Yeah, I didn't read it that way at all.
I know, because you don't. It's like you have never had a conversation.
You're like a Neanderthal. You don't talk correctly. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure it wasn't even worded as a question.
I said, why isn't it on TV? It's not on TV. That's weird. That's weird that a game it's weird that a college game day game is not on TV. Has that ever happened before?
I don't know, but
is
it not on TV?
Now that I'm asking, yes, it's on ESPNU, but
that means I won't be able to watch it. My cable company, I have SEC,
we're gonna stream
ACC
for it,
network. Yeah, I know, but golly, what time is that game?
I don't know.
I don't know. I might be busy Saturday, but
use the R word right here.
Our cable provider gave me SEC, ACC network, but they took ESPNU. And I think I'd rather have ESPNU than ACC network, of course. But it was kind of making me mad about it, man. I don't know. I'm not even going to worry about it. Did you watch the SEC Shorts video that I sent you?
Yeah, half of it.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it when they were preparing people to watch the Vandy game. And all I could think about was, man, they could have roasted South Carolina fans again, doing this same skit.
Yeah.
But I like the skit they did for us anyways.
I was listening to Bobby Harden this week.
Oh, man.
I'm going to get angry a second.
Okay.
I'm going to get angry a little bit.
All right.
Do you know what he's been hearing from South Carolina fans?
Oh, that Jamie Chadwell is not qualified enough to run the University of South Carolina team.
Underqualified for the University of South Carolina.
Well, theoretically, he is. He is.
How?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he's running an undefeated team right now. He's running an undefeated team that was not an FBS school 3 years ago. So in the minds of most of the country, not just South Carolina fans, Because you have this weird obsession with South Carolina fans. Like I'm starting to think you're a closet Clemson fan, to be honest with you.
No.
With the way you say stuff, but with most of the fans, all right, and not just South Carolina, but most of the fans around the country, he is underqualified because they still don't look at Coastal as an FBS school.
Here's my question.
All right, go ahead.
I get that you're in that SEC. Fine. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
Well, you're 6 years removed from having 3 or 4 and 10-win seasons in a row?
Great! You know how many of them you've had since 1903, since you've been a football program? You know how many 10 or more win seasons you've had? I looked it up.
Probably like 6 or 7. 4? Just
4.
those years?
It's 4.
Just those years?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? Who is underqualified to come to a program like that?
Here's the thing. Those 10-win seasons are recent memory. We're not that far off from it in the minds of fans. So listen, they will never be happy with.
That is what this program is.
They will never be happy with him because he won't be able to do good enough there. They want Shane Beamer.
But that's my point. Who do you think you are?
Hey man, Steve Spurrier made it happen. He brought life to the program.
And now we just think we're the big swinging dick.
Well, I mean, we're like the middle tier swinging dick. Like, you know,
I don't know.
Alabama's like an 8-incher and we're like a 5.5.
I don't know if we are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's a very desirable job opportunity. The facilities at Carolina, greatly and vastly improved and better than most facilities in the SEC besides like Alabama.
I was listening to a guy on Bobby Harden's show. I can't remember what he does. He's something for a journalist close to it, but he's an insider in the University of South Carolina. And he said one thing he'll say about the job is all these candidates don't realize how difficult of a job it is.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not a fun, good job to take. He's like, the boosters and stuff make the job hard.
Except if you bring in Shane Beamer, which is what the fans want, which is what the boosters want, which is what the former players of the
But how long are they want it?
But listen, here's the thing. You bring him in, his recruiting is going to be better than anything we've seen since he was there. He's the guy. He single-handedly brought Marcus Lattimore, Connor Shaw, brought Melvin Ingram, brought Jadeveon Clowney.
I'm not disagreeing.
So you're going to bring. I'm giving you the fan mindset here. I'm not giving you my mindset. My mindset is like I could care less who the coach is. Like I really could care less because I don't think the situation changes unless you bring in the perfect guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the perfect guy is. I'm willing to give anyone a shot.
Yeah.
We gave Muschamp a shot. We gave Lou Holtz a shot after he left Notre Dame and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We gave Steve Spurrier a shot and he did phenomenal. And listen, once again, you have the big letdowns of we should have won a national title, we should have won an SEC title. I understand that, but for the
he did something while the East was down.
Yeah, I mean I don't even think they were down. You look at the University of Alabama team that we beat, half of that team went to the NFL.
Yeah, I mean they did.
I don't think the
what
rest.
What did the Cam Newton Auburn team do to us?
I don't think the rest of the SEC was down. I think we were actually good those years. I think you're totally wrong with that. But I know.
Did that question just drift off into space?
I know that the you're talking about the Cam Newton SEC. And that's fine. That happens to every team. Every team gets blown out like that every now and then. You get so infatuated about the fact that it's the University of South Carolina that all you're doing is just sucking on that teat. That's all you bring up.
My point is
the SEC wasn't down during the times of South Carolina being good.
No, my point has always been, look at that South Carolina roster during those years.
No, I know. We failed at that. That's fine. But you know what?
That's a failure.
But it doesn't matter.
But nobody will call it a failure.
But it doesn't matter because, just like the point you brought up, in the whole history of University of South Carolina, there's only 4 years we've had 10-win seasons.
People refuse to call it a failure.
Because it wasn't. Because it was
holy shit!
Because you said it yourself, you dingleberry. You're a little turd on a butthole that's hanging there. Because you said it yourself. The only times in the history of the South Carolina football program we've had 10-win seasons, we're right there. That doesn't matter if they failed the SEC title, they failed to get into the national title. That doesn't matter. The best 5-year stretch in the history of the school came during that time. It is automatically a success. More of a success than any other time. Except the time we had the Black Magic season. So there was another time we had a 10-win season. So there had to be more than 4.
No, it's 4.
He had 4 himself.
No, he didn't. He had 3.
Okay, so he had 3. So yeah, 4. All right, there you go. But it was still a great 5-year stretch for South Carolina fans because the year leading up to it, even though it wasn't a 10-win, was a heck of a year. Everybody was excited about the future. And then through the 10-win season, everybody was content and happy.
And now that my whole point, because I don't contest any of that, my whole point is we now that he got to the best point, he did the best thing in program history.
Yeah.
So he gets a pass for leaving us the way he did. He gets a pass for underperforming, and he gets a pass for everything bad he did.
He gets
just
a pass.
He
gets a pass for the end of his regime, though. Yes, because
he lit it on fire before he left.
He
and
brought us
like,
to the greatest times. Doesn't matter. They'll put a statue out soon.
And that is where my problem starts.
Well, then they're going to put a statue out for him soon.
I know they will.
Because best times in school.
You got me on Steve Spurrier Field this year.
Listen, hey, yeah.
In Florida.
Yeah. And, I could see them naming Williams-Brice Stadium, Steve Spurrier Stadium. I don't know.
So I'm the only one on the planet that has a problem with all that.
I think you're one of the few people I've ever heard with a problem with it.
All right.
Just because all the good he did outweighed that last little bad ending.
It wasn't little.
Everybody knew the ship was sinking.
It wasn't little.
Everybody was fine knowing the ship was sinking. Because he had already brought us to the greatness that we've never been to.
Another point.
Okay.
Because I'm glad you said that. Everybody knew the ship was sinking. They were fine with him leaving it.
Yeah.
Is there a difference in him jumping ship when he knew it was sinking and a J.C. Horn jumping ship when he knew it was sinking?
J.C. Horn decided not to come back because of his injury, right?
That was Israel McQuamon.
McQuamon
decided he was going on.
The coach is being paid for results. The player is not.
He should
the players
be.
There is I'm not debating that with you, but that's not an applicable thing at this moment. They're not being paid. The guys.
You're being exploited for it.
He's on scholarship. He doesn't have to take the scholarship.
Jesus.
He doesn't have to.
That shit.
He doesn't have
to.
Hey,
buddy, you can just not do what you're good at for a living. You just get the hell out of here.
He could go play European football for a year, and then come and then try.
Does he have the money to get there?
That's not our problem.
That's not our problem. If you don't like it, you just get the hell out of here.
If you wanna be good enough to do
that's
it,
the point people make. Hey,
go do it.
Hey, just get the hell out of here if you don't want what I'm giving you.
Yeah. Listen, it's. I don't personally have a problem with the players sitting out if they feel like they have a chance in the NFL. I really don't. But I believe that in that year that they sit out, they should forfeit their scholarship and they should return the money. So then if you decide, all right, I'm on scholarship for this program, and in the middle of the season I'm quitting, you should forfeit that money. You should pay the institution back the $16,000 or whatever you get for the football.
I think that institution will be okay.
And it doesn't matter. It's the principles that matter. If you're going to walk out on them, you should do it.
But none of these big places have the principles you're talking about.
I'm giving you ideas here. You're asking me for opinions. I'm giving them to you. You just get so frustrated because I'm not on the same side.
Have principles for a bunch of places that don't have that many principles.
Hey, listen. The coaches sign a contract. All the stuff that happens when they leave is in the language of the contract. The student athletes take a scholarship. And that scholarship pretty much says the institution owns you for the time in which you're here.
They what?
The institution owns you from the time in which you're here.
What are we doing here?
Listen, it's the same thing if you go to college.
The system.
It's the same thing if you go to college. If it's not an athlete, the institution owns you at the time you're there.
I just have a problem with the whole system.
Well,
I think the system needs to be changed.
I mean, it's not going to be changed.
Because of the money. Because we are able to exploit these kids for the money, and we don't have to change.
And you know what? They're fine with being exploited for the money.
They don't have a choice.
It gives them an opportunity for a better future.
What do you mean they're fine with it? They don't have a choice.
It gives them an opportunity for a better future. I will say it again. It gives them an opportunity for a better future.
I hear you. But I guarantee you they're not fine with it.
I mean, they get treated like kings and queens on campus.
I'm willing to bet. Are you fine with it?
They get better food plans than any other student. They get better living arrangements than any other place. They get world-class health care that they would not have without being at the institution playing sports. They get a lot more than a regular student does to be able to do that.
So if we asked all college athletes, everybody under this NCAA umbrella, all college athletes, are you fine with the system that is in place now? Are you telling me we'll go low? Over 75% of them will say yes.
If you leave out the bias of pay, if you just
are you fine with the system?
Yeah, I think the majority of people will be fine with it.
You think
except the smaller schools, because the smaller schools is where you get less of that stuff. But at the University of South Carolina, we have the #1 women's basketball team in the nation. They live in areas that are nicer than the house we're sitting in right now. They get everything paid for the time that they're there. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. We're on the subject of all this stuff. Them taking the knee before their first game has a lot of boosters threatening to pull out money.
And are they supposed to get things paid for? I thought that was against the rules.
No, the things they can't like receive gifts from other people, but there's certain things within the college realm that they get for free.
Who made these rules?
It's not me. It's the NCAA.
That's who my problems with.
You can't because the idea was that other institutions were getting all these recruits because they were like they'd have a car dealership give them a car.
It's happening anyway.
You have to try to curb it. That's like saying you should make all crime legal because it's happening anyway. It's the same principle. It's the exact same principle. It's just in a different situation. But yeah, you had to have some type of rules in place because University of Texas had all these car dealerships giving out big time expensive cars to get players to come there and win titles. Happens in high schools too. There are high schools around the state that recruit people to come in to play in their school. When I was in high school, there was a baseball player out of this world.
I know who I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah, I know.
I got a school name right now.
Yeah, but there was a high school baseball player who was at my high school who was going to be the next big thing, who got recruited by a coach at another school in Horry County to come over, and then the only reason he didn't make it big is he got busted for steroids.
Can I give you the school name?
Sure.
Bishop England.
Well, they don't really count because they're a private school playing public ball.
You know that's a loophole, baby. Come on now.
I know it is.
Come on now.
But thankfully, they're not even nowhere near as good as they used to be.
No.
They had because there's other schools around them that are doing that now.
Yeah.
So they have competition. They're not the monopoly anymore. But no, their boosters are threatening to pull out because of the taking the knee before the first Carolina women's game. That's why Don Staley had to put out the statement on Twitter, asking people to respect their opinions. But here's the thing, and this is something that
I don't respect opinion unless it's my opinion.
But listen, here's the thing, and this is what a lot of people were talking about whenever we were I was around a group of people talking about this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Middle-aged / elderly white men are propping up. No, listen. Are propping up and supporting the women's basketball team.
What?
Yeah. It's only as funded as it is.
What a turn of events.
I know. And so you have a lot of people who were upset at the demonstration with the national anthem, and they're saying, you know what, we're just going to pull our money out because this is something that's important to us.
Christ.
Hey, if you're going to take money from people, it's just like politics and everything. If you're going to take money from people, there's always a catch at the end.
Yeah, I know.
And you know what? If that's something that's important, you'll never see it again this season, unless they feel certainly that they're not going to have money pulled out.
You know what I'm willing to bet you?
Yeah.
These guys that are pulling money, you know what I'm willing to bet? They've called somebody a snowflake in their life.
Probably.
I'm willing to bet you.
Probably. But if you're giving $10 million to university...
How wild was that?
But, yeah, I know.
Hey, I don't want to talk about money. Hang on. How funny is that?
Hey, listen, we're not a political talk show
How
here.
funny is that?
I mean, it's hilarious.
That the people who call people snowflakes
are the snowflakes?
Can't handle...
They can't handle the result of the election?
Anything.
But they can't handle, anything
they can't handle a thing.
Yeah, I know.
You have to almost
but you
hospitalize
Hey, you want to be honest? It happens in churches, too.
No, I know.
It happened. I've seen it firsthand. Somebody's giving most of the money to have something go, and then they don't like something, and then they get a change immediately. That type of thing is it's not just in churches. It didn't start in churches. No. It started in politics.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening is coming over.
What?
Can I tell you something in the sports world though that caught me off guard that I got an email about this week?
Go ahead, give it to me.
I coached track and field in high school. I got an email from the head coach.
Comment. Have you ever seen a Walrus coach track and field?
Yeah, comment. I got an email from the head coach of Clemson University's track program, not recruiting me or anything, actually, not trying to get any of my kids, but to implore me to sign a petition that Clemson does not remove their program.
Oh.
Because Clemson in 2021 is supposed to be cutting their track and field program. So they added girls softball, but they're cutting track and field. And it's upsetting a lot of people.
I didn't know they didn't have women's softball.
I just came last year.
I thought that is getting, you know, if I had to pick a sport that's growing the fastest, that is seeming to get. Am I wrong?
Well,
that
did you
seems
ever
to be.
Did you ever watch Kat Ostrander pitch, like when she was big at Arizona or something, like mid-2000s?
I mean, am I wrong here? But just like in the last maybe 5 years, it seems to be picking up a lot of steam.
Yeah, and especially in high schools and I guess beyond in college, it's fun to watch.
College softball has.
Yeah. The thing is, they don't have
more.
They don't have like a major league like the WNBA.
How is that like? Where did that come from? It is just.
I just think that you're seeing a lot of young girls. Like, I think you're seeing. It's kind of weird. There could be a twofold thing. It could be having a lot more women or girls being born than men right now. Or you could be seeing like a lot of dads who have girl only and just they're really into baseball, so their girl wants to get into softball, so they have that connection.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things like that could be in play when you're talking about a sport. So, but no, it is exploding. But I tell you, it blew my mind when a big Division I school is canceling a program like track and field, and they have boys and girls. So I wonder how they can get around it with Title IX if they just. I mean, they instituted softball last year. But I feel like it'd just be difficult. And then I got another email that same week from a parent in charge of the athletic affairs, because every school has a parent division where their parents are really involved with stuff, and imploring me to sign the petition and stuff. And as a good University of South Carolina fan that I am, I signed the petition.
God, nice.
Hey, I mean, it's a sport I coach. If you start seeing big schools get rid of it, then my job becomes meaningless.
Yeah,
my job isn't I'm not trying to send every athlete to have University of South Carolina to be on the track and field program. I'm trying to get them in the best institution that's best for them.
Yeah.
And you know what? There might be one of my kids where Clemson's their dream school, and that institution.
I gotta get them. I gotta help them.
And I gotta help them get there. All right. So.
See, that is interesting. I want to go back for a second. We're gonna stay with Clemson, kind of. But first, I want to go back to Jamie Chadwell.
All right.
Because the school is interested in him.
Yeah.
That I actually like for him.
I think it's a trap, though.
Do you?
Yeah. So
we're talking about Vanderbilt.
Yeah, we're talking about Vanderbilt here. And I actually heard all the things that Bobby Hart was talking about, and when we were talking, because he was talking about it at the same time. I think it's a trap, though, because all right, cool, you're going to get double or triple the salary you have at Coastal. That's double or triple salary you ever had in your life, actually. Okay, it's going to be great for your family, but can you actually win at Vanderbilt?
See, you may disagree with me here.
Okay.
To me, that situation is similar.
Yeah.
To the situations he came into at Charleston Southern and at Coastal.
Yeah.
It is. Isn't it? I mean, it's
different levels of football.
But I think what I'm saying,
the question becomes, does he believe enough in his ability to coach?
Those are two similar situations. Yeah. Those three situations are similar.
What's Vanderbilt going to be happy with in win-wise? What average? I think 6-6 maybe is. I think if you can go 7-5 every year, you keep your job for 10 years.
Nah, man, in Vanderbilt, if you go to bowl games, they're happy.
Yeah.
If you're in bowl games,
I feel like they've gotten rid of 6-6 people though.
Do you?
I feel like I think they need to be 7-5.
7-5. Because I was thinking, I'm thinking like most teams like that, the bowl game.
Can we talk about why he's probably not going to get the Vanderbilt job? You know who's put their hat in the ring?
Who?
Who's the former Tennessee Titan head coach? The white guy who was there with Vince Young was there.
I can't remember his name.
He lives in Nashville.
But I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he lives in Nashville still.
He gets that
He's
job.
putting his name in the ring.
He gets that job.
He's made it apparent that he is interested.
I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
We said it a couple weeks ago. You know who I like from Michigan?
Who?
Brent Venables.
Oh. Oof.
Nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
It hasn't come up.
No one wants to talk about the realization that the Clemson dynasty could actually come to an end because both their OC and their defensive coordinator
want to leave. And I talked about yesterday with somebody. If those two get jobs in this offseason, what the hell is stopping Dabo Swinney from going to the NFL?
I know. Here's the thing that I worry about Brent Venables. I think the job profile is high enough.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. But is it too overwhelming to come into when you're dealing with Wisconsin, Ohio State? Like, you know, and who else is in that division that's kind of good?
That is a high-pressure job. It's a big job, but it's a high-pressure
job. Yeah, you're going to get paid good. But listen, here's the thing.
South Carolina is not really, if you take the fans out of it, it's not a high-pressure job. Nobody's like, you got to win today.
He's not coming.
No, I just mean, like, comparing those two situations, Michigan is a high-pressure job. Michigan wants to be Michigan from the 80s and 90s.
I think most South Carolina fans are fine as long as you're competitive in the game.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I went to the Georgia game this weekend, and there was no one upset at that result. You know why? There was the expectation of this is how this game is going.
Yeah, this is going to be bad.
And everyone knew this is what it was going to be like. You know, it's...
Do you think we beat Kentucky Saturday?
Yes.
I do too.
I think we beat Kentucky.
I
think we go out with a win. Here's the thing. I think the biggest question is Mike Bobo going to be back next year? I don't think they're willing to spend all the money to get rid of him.
If it's Beamer,
listen. I'm telling you, Beamer comes in. I bet it's
Mike Bobo stays.
I bet it's a caveat that Mike Bobo has to stay because I'm gonna tell you this: they don't want to lose that quarterback who went to Connor Shaw's high school, or who's being coached by Connor Shaw's brother. Like they don't want to lose that guy from Georgia.
And because too,
and
Beamer is an offensive guy.
You know that quarterback from Georgia that's supposed to come in next year, like after next year, 2021, he's beaten all of Trevor Lawrence's records, except like a couple that he will beat next year.
Frank Beamer or is it Shane Beamer? Sorry, Frank's the papa.
Shane.
Yeah. Shane Beamer's an offensive guy too, so I assume he'll be calling the plays. So keeping Mike Bobo isn't really like.
Well, I don't think I don't think they want to spend another $5 million to get rid of him.
But I'm saying if you get an offensive guy, you don't have to get rid of Mike Bobo. Is my point.
Yeah.
Like if you bring in an offensive guy, which they said they wanted, then you're really under no stress to get rid of Mike Bobo because you're not really looking for an offensive coordinator. So you're like, yeah, he can stay. I'll be calling the plays.
Yeah.
Right.
You would think. Who knows?
You know, like. Does it add, like if you're bringing in an offensive-minded head coach, doesn't that take pressure off of the offensive coordinator spot? I don't know anything about coaching. Does that take pressure off of it?
I don't know anything about it either. I mean, I think if you bring an offensive-minded coach, he's going to do all the jobs, so there's no use to have the offensive coordinator.
That's what I'm thinking. Then you're like,
carrying a $5 million dead salary.
Then you're like, yeah, I can keep Mike Bobo, sure.
So,
yeah, I can keep him.
And what you going to do with him? You're not going to make him a QB coach.
Nope.
I'm going to tell you right now, Connor Shaw is going to remain on the staff.
Yeah. He should be.
Like you can tell the quarterbacks respect him and they're fighting for him.
I think he's going to end up as an offensive coordinator somewhere.
Yeah, maybe.
In a few years.
I could see that. Yeah, man, like, I don't know. Like, I'm just ready for this crap to be over with, to be honest with you.
Well, he says he wants to coach before December, I believe 17th is signing day. He wants to coach before then.
You know, the big spur was, like, they were being very aggressive and saying the deal was already done with Beamer. Like, and it was, like, a real low deal that they said. And I was curious about where they got the information from. But they said 4 years at, like, $3 million per. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, when you're paying, that's not even, like, a coordinator salary. And I was very confused by that. But
So, now if we talk about Venables going to a high-pressure job in Michigan, which we don't know, the offensive coordinator is going to be a chip for jobs.
I'm going to be honest with you, though. I don't even think we need to be talking about it, and I don't know if we're going to talk about it right now. It's fine because I don't think it's actually going to happen.
No.
Because there's no steam.
I think this team stays together.
I think it's smoke.
I think this staff stays together.
Yeah. I think they're trying to get people to focus on other things.
This Clemson staff wants 10 national championships.
Yeah.
They're going to stay together.
Here's the thing. If you're being paid more than the average cost of a head coaching job around the country, why are you going to leave?
Yeah.
And take on all the pressure being a head coach. It makes no sense.
When we're winning right here, right now, we're in the playoffs every year.
I just think people are. I think Clemson's turning into the big bad wolf that Alabama was, that the Southern Cal Trojans were, that Texas was, and I think people are ready to see them off the mountain horse. And I think it's beyond Carolina fans.
Yeah.
And I think that people are just
leaking into the whole country.
Yeah, I think people are just trying to find reasons to get rid of it. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it will happen. But let's play a game for the people.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, Ron. You got to explore a little bit.
Hey, listen, man, I'm all work, no play today.
You got to play the game for the people.
Yeah.
So let's say Venables, Michigan. Offensive coordinator gets a job.
Yeah.
It's a shame I don't remember his name because he's a good coach. The offensive coordinator.
Isn't it Tony something?
It is, and it is a shame I can't remember it because I think he's the best coach there. I put him above Venables. But let's say he gets a job. Let's say Dabo Swinney says, both my coordinators got a job. I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence. He goes to the Jets.
Tony Elliott.
You know who I think Clemson goes after number one?
Who?
Chadwell.
No way.
I think so.
I think that
because Clemson's big thing when they went for Dabo is to get a guy that never been a head coach, a guy that was underqualified in everybody's eyes.
Yeah.
But they're willing to take a chance.
But now they've been on top of the mountain, so then now they have all the ammunition in the world to just basically say, hey, they can offer to every big name coach. They could say, Les Miles, are you ready to actually take a real job and come out?
That's true. Okay.
It's a little different.
Yeah, you don't have to take another chance. But and that was my thing with South Carolina too, calling people underqualified, is like Clemson got in this position they're in by taking a chance. Let's take a chance.
Yeah. I think at this point, like, let's make the offer to Beamer.
We're at the bottom. We're at the bottom of the barrel. The SEC power rankings came out today. We're number 13 out of 14. It's us and Vanderbilt.
Hey,
take a chance.
I think they're taking a chance.
We can't we can't go down anymore. That's
true.
Hire somebody that's never been a head coach.
I don't know. I think you need to bring someone in who can be semi-consistent.
Shane Beamer.
Yeah, but I think he'll be great. I think
people's problem with him is
if you give him the amount of time with Muschamp had, I think he'll have.
People's problem with him is he's never been a head coach anywhere.
Yeah, and that is stupid. I understand the logic, and I know that's what you're arguing right now is to give someone a chance. Like,
Dabo Swinney had never been a head coach anywhere before Clemson.
Yeah, but I think after Dabo, Clemson goes with an established name.
Yeah,
I really do.
I get that. I didn't think about that, but to your point of. You don't take chances when you don't have to, and now Clemson doesn't have to. No. When they were looking for a coach for Dabo Swinney, they had room to take a chance. They could. Now
they weren't very good.
Yeah, now you don't take that chance.
They weren't very good before.
Okay.
So now they're good. They're great. I mean, I'm ready for the showdown with Notre Dame. I'm glad the ACC decided they weren't going to be stupid, and they said they're not rescheduling the Clemson Florida State and not.
Florida State should just be done this season. They should just say, all right.
Oh, all right, we're back. I'm glad the ACC did the right thing and gave them both that
we're backing
before.
Up
you're going to see a fully planned Clemson team and a fully planned Notre Dame team. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, I think Clemson's going to win this game.
Yeah, I think when it took you double overtime to beat Clemson doesn't lose that second game.
I don't think so either, unless Trevor Lawrence is having a bad night.
Right, which.
I'm gonna say I was impressed by his backup.
The thing that makes you great.
Bright.
The thing that makes you great in any sport, in anything you do, is how low are your lows? Because there are people who can be great. Carson Wentz can be great. We've seen him be great.
God, his lows are low.
But
same way with Fitzpatrick, though.
His lows are low. And the thing is, I don't know if his lows are as low as Carson Wentz.
Yes.
But how you
go back and look at.
Okay.
Yeah, he has like 4 interception days.
Yeah, but how you judge I mean, am I right or wrong? How you judge an athlete is not by their highs, but where are they at when they're at their lowest? Are they still?
I think people still judge you by your
I mean,
highest point. Like, all right,
but that's the
think
real
of the running
mark,
back for
isn't
Tennessee
it?
Titans, right? Like, we judge him based on his greatness. Derrick Henry.
Come on, news media doesn't. When somebody has a 505 touchdown yard day, Tom Brady does, they say, yeah. And when he has a 2 interception, 3 interception day, that's where the judging starts, not on his great days.
I guess so. I just think people in general, beyond the media, judge people based upon the great days.
Like I judge an athlete on his margin.
Yeah.
How consistent are you? How close is your bad to your good?
That's true.
How close is your worst to your great? And I think my point in saying all this is you mentioned Trevor Lawrence, and what if he has a bad day? I think he's consistent. I think he has a narrow margin.
Yeah, but if his bad day is like an average day, Notre Dame can beat him.
Yeah, because they're not the team they were last.
Because the quarterback they played with when Lawrence was out had an amazing game that game.
Okay.
You know.
And before we get out, we're running about 36 minutes. Let's do some MLB because we haven't talked about the Braves acquisitions today. Johan Camargo got I think a 1-year deal, $1.36 million.
I don't mind these 1-year deals, just going after it.
Yeah.
You know. Because you know you're not going to be able to lock down every single one of these guys. So give them that 1 year. Say, hey, you can prove it. If you get really outstanding, you might get that contract. If not, you're going to have leeway to go wherever you want. You won't be locked in.
I liked their pitching acquisitions, Drew Smiley and the guy from the Rays.
I don't remember his name.
Me either.
I'm not a huge baseball guy like you.
But my problem was...
Maybe you should say this for a baseball episode.
No, my problem was... Why not go after, if you're really chasing the World Series, if you're really dishing it out, Trevor Bauer was available.
What was his contract that he signed, though?
I don't think he's signed one yet.
Yeah, he's probably asking like 15
He's going
mil.
into free agency.
He's probably asking like 15 mil.
If they keep the DH, which I hope they do because I enjoy it.
I don't think they are.
But if you don't, whether you like it or not, I know you were a big guy. If the DH is gone, Ozuna's gone.
Really?
They let him walk.
Why?
If the DH is back, they take Ozuna.
Any other place?
He can, but we have all the spots full.
He's better than anyone else we have hitting other than Freddie Freeman.
He is, but defensively he's not a glove.
Yeah.
He can't outglove anybody.
But didn't he play for the Mets?
Cardinals.
He played for the Cardinals, which is NL. Well, who was he before then? Was it just him?
That was the Marlins.
Yeah, so he's always been an NL guy.
Yeah, but you can't glove, like he can't outglove anybody on our team.
But if his gloving is 3/4 the way of one player, but his hitting is 2 times that, don't you take the hitting?
We have our guys. We have our guys hitting.
Yeah.
We need gloves now.
Yeah.
Like we have consistently before Ozuna a top 5 offense. We need gloves now. Like we have the offense squared away. So if DH comes back, then you have a position you can spend. Then you have another bat you can spend money on. It'll be Ozuna. If the DH leaves, I'm
gonna be really sad if Ozuna leaves.
If the DH leaves, it'll probably be Chris Bryant.
Why in the world? You think we're gonna get Chris Bryant?
Yeah.
You really think we will?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Here's the thing. I don't understand why the NL has never done the DH.
I enjoyed it this season. I didn't miss it.
Listen, the DH is a phenomenal position.
Yeah.
I want to see the best people hit. I don't want to see the pitcher get up and waste an hour.
Yeah.
I think if you're a true fan of baseball, the idea of a pitcher hitting is stupid.
I want Ozuna in my lineup.
Yeah, and I don't want my pitcher to risk injury by tweaking a back muscle swinging a bat.
I would rather have Ozuna hit than Soroka.
Yeah. And I've never understood the idea. I think we need to ask some baseball guys about that, and see, really ask, some followers of baseball, why do you not like the DH position?
Right.
other than history, and I think a lot of people are going to say
that's
history.
baseball, man. We got to get out of this rut. Baseball is in a big rut now of tradition, and it's like you're bringing the sport down with tradition.
Yeah, you know, like
You're dragging the
if we're
sport
in a
down
big
with
rut of tradition, we need to go and put some people in the Hall of Fame that should be there for doing steroids.
Yeah.
Like
Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he started doing steroids.
Yeah. And he did exactly what the MLB needed at the right time. He put on a show because the MLB was going to die.
Right. They had just had
Sammy Sosa put him in there. Mark McGwire put him in there. Roger Clemens put. I don't care. I don't care if you took steroids.
They had just had
everyone was doing it.
They had just had the big strike.
Yeah.
That had killed the sport. The fans were getting tired of it, and they brought you back.
I don't care if you did. Everyone. I say everyone. 3/4 of all baseball players were doing steroids. 3/4 of all the athletes were. The WWE was. WCW was. Everybody was juicing. Who cares? Put them in there for what they done for the game.
I was listening to The Point. Trevor podcast. Trevor Bauer, CC Sabathia, and Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
We're talking about the the steroids, comparing the steroids to the Astros.
Yeah.
And CC Sabathia said every single clubhouse had somebody on it that was juicing.
Yeah.
Everybody. He did not have as much problem with the steroid era as he did with what the Astros did. He said, because if I'm on the mound and a guy comes up that's on steroids, I can strike him out. If my pitches are what they are supposed to be and my pitches are good, if I make a mistake, it's still on me.
Yeah.
I can still strike him out. The other guy knows what's coming.
What's the difference between guys being on steroids and the MLB juicing their balls to make it easier for balls to leave the yard?
Well, we got to go back to the NCAA. I can do what I want. I'm the system. I can do what I want. You can't.
Here's the thing, and this probably should be the title of the thing. If the Astros can keep their World Series, put the guys in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's
and I think it's something around that because it is stupid that in my childhood I could care less whether or not they were juicing. All I cared about was the show. I cared about sitting down on my floor as a little kid with my legs crossed, with my dad is sitting in a chair behind me watching the game, waiting for Barry Bonds to hit that home run, waiting for Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire's race to end. We watched all these games, and we didn't care it wasn't the Braves, right? It went beyond our love for the Braves. Okay? It made me care about other games.
To close this thing out, I'll give you a title.
Okay.
NCAA. MLB, NFL, NBA, the U.S. government.
All right, title's already too long.
Hang on. All right, MLB, NCAA, the U.S. government. The man always wins. The system always wins.
System's undefeated. What would we just call it? Sports. The system always wins.
System always wins, baby.
Yeah.
They are undefeated.
And that's where we're going to end it.
Do what they want.
And that's where we're going to end it today, folks. Give us a like, a follow, subscribe. Tell us what you think about it. Does the system always win in these sports? What would you do to change these things? What do you think about the Hall of Fame, for these sports? Should these juicers get into the Hall of Fame? What say you? Let us know. We'll see you next time.
Tuesday night is the finals of Comedy Cabana. We are going to get the recording of that set right, and it will be on YouTube Tuesday night. The set of the finals. Actually, it's Wednesday night. It is December 9th. I will record the set in the finals. It'll be on YouTube. Let's see if I can win this thing.
That's right. And that's all the time we have for today, guys.
Enough.
Like, follow, subscribe. Walrus Comic Podcast.